Hello, darling, and welcome back to the Modern Cave Woman Show. Today, I have a question for you. Do you see yourself as someone who deserves to protect your time and energy? I'm going to say it again because I really want you to sink into it. Do you see yourself as someone who deserves to protect your own time and energy? So, listen, we're going to talk about this a little differently today and break a big misconception. Boundaries are not selfish. They are literally you saying yes to yourself, which I think is a beautiful thing. So, now I know as ladies in our society, we get the message that we're supposed to take care of the people around us and sacrifice our own needs and desires until everyone else is taken care of, right? Are you with me on this? Have you ever felt that way? So then we end up feeling like it's mean, selfish, and wrong to take the best care of ourselves no matter what. Even if we hear that, fill your cup first line, it's like, okay, great, but how? Because I have all these demands and all of this pressure on me, and I have to keep going. You know what I mean? So there's also another big misconception to break here. Boundaries are not making you lose friends or family. They don't make you lose people you care about and value. Okay? It lets you lose gaslighters, abusers, manipulators, narcissists, and energy vampires. So, I'm not going to give you some three-step process on how to set boundaries. Instead, I'm here to gift you a peek into how I completely changed doing healthy boundaries. It's really so simple and probably a little different perspective than you've ever heard before because it's actually an identity shift from people pleaser to honoring your own needs, values, and priorities. It's about taking the best care of yourself no matter what. Okay. So here's the identity to consider. Let me know how this lands for you. What if you are just the kind of lady who values yourself? You know the value of your time and energy units because they are resources you can never get back, and you honor your personal values and you prioritize what you care about deeply. What if that's just who you are? And then for the woman you are, boundaries become super easy and natural. You don't even have to think about them. You just naturally say yes or no because you know who you are. You know what's important to you and how to take the best care of yourself and your loved ones, right? So, for just a light example, if someone offers you vanilla or chocolate, chances are you already know the answer to that, right? I'm a woman who always takes vanilla over chocolate because chocolate upsets my stomach. It's an easy answer. I'm not trying to go through a process around it. And even if they try to talk me into the chocolate, I honor that I don't want a stomach ache, which is my boundary, and I keep saying no. And I don't have to explain it. Easy, right? And it can be the same for other things like helping a friend move, lending someone money, or always doing the dishes, whatever comes up, right? When you know you honor your own requirements first, you simply say yes, no, or later. Yeah. And it can be later, sure. Now, the next question that comes up when I talk about this is how do I say no without offending people? Because this identity shift thing might feel really sudden and you're afraid you're going to blow your life up. And this is where we simply just have to break the habit of people pleasing and be honest. It's kind of like breaking any habit. You draw the line and you just aren't a woman who does whatever that thing is anymore, right? Like people who quit smoking just draw that line and their identity changes to non-smoker. Like that's just who they are. They are not a smoker anymore. Yeah? So, honestly saying something like, I already have a really important commitment, so I can't do that. Or those resources are already for something else, like if someone's asking for money or property or something. Or, like I said, the answer can always be later. Like, I don't have the money now, but I'll contribute later, right? And saying those kind of things can be very clear and kind. And if the person you're talking to isn't trying to take advantage of you, they will probably go, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's like a reasonable answer," right? So, kind of going back to setting boundaries isn't going to cut people out of your life that you still want in your life. It's going to let those abusive behaviors fall away naturally. And in fact, it may not even cut that person out of your life who has those behaviors. It may just be something you can do to change that behavior, right? Like if they're so used to leaning on you just because you've always said yes in the past and you say no, it might shake things up a little. But if there's someone who loves you and you love them back and you value having them in your life in every other way, maybe they just quit leaning on you in that way. Or maybe they don't always lean on you in that way, right? That's what boundaries are basically all about. So that was a little side story. So the other thing, a slightly controversial point I want to throw out there. Don't feel like you have to explain yourself unless you want to, right? That's going to depend on the relationship because sometimes explaining yourself as a habit, as a normal thing, if you're going to say no and this is why or later and this is why, that why can open the door to letting someone else try to negotiate with you. They might try to convince you to change your mind or even manipulate you. So that's just for you to be aware of and be cautious around that sometimes explaining yourself isn't actually going to be helpful. And also, sometimes it's just not even necessary. Sometimes people don't even care about the explanation. Your simple answer is good enough. Okay. So, just something to think about. And that's basically the short and sweet of it. It's super simple, right? All you do is decide you are a woman who insert your value here, right? And you just don't negotiate with other people on what you require to do for your own well being. Everything else just reflects naturally from there because you're always going to do what's best for you and what's best for the people or the situations that you value, that you're going to prioritize. Okay. So, one more question comes up very often like, what if it's really hard, right? Is it easy? I'm really not going to be able to answer that for you because we all have different circumstances. But I will say that you can let it be easy. I have found that when I just let it be easy, when I ask myself in a situation, how could this be easy? Instead of going down the, oh, this is so hard road. Here's all the reasons this is going to drive me nuts road. If I can stop myself from going that direction and just take a step back, have that degree of separation and go, how could this be easy? I often find that I can let most things be super easy. So that's really the only answer I have for that question is you get to decide how hard it is. You can simply choose to just love yourself harder and ignore all the noise, however that looks for you. You can acknowledge when you want to fall back into like those old self-sacrificing habits, you know what I mean? And you just reaffirm who you are and move forward. Like that can be easy or it can feel hard. You get to decide. Honestly, you get to decide how you feel about that. And then, of course, you can always find ways to baby step into things if you need to, and you can enlist support, and you do whatever you need to do, right? You get to decide, And that's part of the fun of it, right? In anything in life, you get to make decisions and move forward. Don't you think that's fun? I think that's fun. Okay. So I will leave you to ponder that. Let me know what you think. Let me know how this lands with you in the comments, or you can always come over and send me a direct message on my website at thecolleenbean.com/contact. And I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I hope that this has been helpful. So let me know. Bye-bye.